Hey, what's going on? It's Matt. Welcome back to the channel. I'm on the floor again, and I don't want to do this outside because I just don't feel like getting everything dirty. But behind me are two sleep systems that I'm a big fan of. This one right here happens to be the sleep system that I did already kind of a video on, and I talked about it was ideal for people who like to sleep on their sides. It is the North Face Dolomite 40. And it is the Climate Static V Luxe plus the sheet that goes with the Static V, kind of making this incredible sleep system. The only thing that's not underneath that right now is the Thermarest closed cell foam. Right here is my new sleep system, and it's new because I recently took this one out on a camping trip, and it was car camping, so it should have been as comfortable as possible. And I couldn't sleep. And I'll talk about some of the things that really bothered me about this system. And granted, I've said this 100 times, I'm not a little guy. I'm 6'4", I'm 250, I've got broad shoulders, and that's why this is a rec bag. But this is the new, well, it's not new, it's new to me. It's the Big Angus Buffalo Park 40. And when I saw this entire sleep system, I got really excited about it because you don't have to buy the sheet, and it's just this integrated system, and it's absolutely fantastic. And the sleeping pad that's in that one right now is another Big Angus product. And candidly, when I get into all the details with this stuff, the sleeping pad that Big Angus makes is far superior than the one that Climate makes, and I think a lot of it has to do with the air chambers. So before I jump into this, I just want to tell you why this didn't work out for me. So, and I'm going to push this to the side because you've already seen this one before. I went camping recently. It was for 2 nights, and it was in a tent, and it was in a big tent, and I was actually on top of a cot. And this bag is something that I used to always really love, but I think as I've gotten older, because of some of my joint problems and just kind of like the way that I sleep now is a little bit differently, I couldn't get a decent night's rest in this setup. I felt at times that the bag was actually slipping off the sleeping pad. I felt that the sleeping pad wasn't solid enough, even though it was fully blown up. And honestly, like I kept zipping down one of the sides of the bag just to get some more shoulder room and kind of sleep, you know, a little bit on my stomach and on my side, because that's how I sleep. I'm a side sleeper and a stomach sleeper. So, you know, it was just one of these things where I was like, you know what, this isn't going to cut it anymore. So I started doing the research, and obviously here is the Buffalo Park. These are both 40-degree bags. Both of the sleeping pads are non-insulated. The cost is almost exactly the same, but the weight's a little bit different. So neither of these I would classify as a long-term or, you know, a through hike or a section hike kind of sleeping system. I'm personally doing a backpacking trip for 3 nights at the end of September. This is what I'm taking, and I really do want to highlight this in that, and I'll just link this one somewhere right above here. So let's just kind of get into this real quickly. I did mention these things are pretty much the same price. And they're right around the 200 is what I paid. This was on sale. Both components were, and this you could probably find for both setups for 200 bucks. So let's talk about the Big Angus Buffalo Park 40. So the Big Angus Buffalo Park is a sleep system. It's something that Big Angus does with more than a handful of their bags. They don't make this particular version anymore, meaning they just don't make the bag anymore. But the sleeping pad that's in there is the Air Core by Big Angus. It is 25 by 78, so it is the wide, long version. And the reason why I was drawn to this so much is because it is a system. They work together. You don't have to have specifically the bag or specifically that particular air pad, but I'm going to show you right now which makes this bag kind of unique. So it is a synthetic fill. They, like I mentioned before, they don't make this anymore. I think I got it for $109. I dealt directly with Big Agnes, which was really nice because they were super friendly. and they explained to me like, hey, look, this is the same bag as one of our newer bags. You're just going to get it for cheaper. We just call it something different, so the price is different. So always helps to have someone who's very friendly on the other end of an email kind of telling you the truth, specifically when it's directly from the manufacturer. So let's kind of jump into this bag and what makes it different than any sleep system I've ever dealt with. What makes this bag so different, there's actually two things that I really think it is. The first thing is, and I'll flip it over, is that this is actually a sleeping pad sleeve. And what this ensures is that the sleeping pad never gets away from you in the middle of the night. Anybody who's ever been backpacking, camping, hiking, sleeping on the floor at your house like I do in this stuff, you realize that because of the kind of fabrics that most sleeping bags are made out of, which is prototypically nylon on the outside or some sort of ripstop material, it's slippery and you're bound to fall off. So this fits up to a 25 by 78. I mentioned before, that's what this sleeping pad is. So this is maxed out, and you can see really just it's in there snugly and it's not going anywhere. Flipping it back over, another issue that anybody will tell you they typically have is the pillow will slip out. So this actually has kind of what I would call a pillow hanger or a pillow nest. So you just kind of shove your backpacking pillow in there or your camping pillow. I will say this will not hold very well a pillow from your bed at home. This in here is just a Trekology 2.0, and that's what I take when I go camping and when I go backpacking. Now, both sides of the bag unzip, and which is kind of unique for me. I know other bags that do that. And when you zip it, it doesn't zip all the way down, so I'm not going to need to pan all the way down. But what ends up happening when you do this, you create more of a blanket kind of situation. Meaning that you can just throw this over you and you can choose to zip this up again or zip up the other side if you want to keep the draft out. But this is so oversized that it goes over pretty much the whole sleeping pad on both ends, and it allows you when you sleep on your side to toss and turn a little bit more. The material on this right here is more of a sheet material. Unfortunately, from what it looks like, this is something you cannot clean very easily. It stays attached to the bag completely all the way down. It would be nice if this was detachable from the top part of the bag. And the reason why I was drawn to this so much is because of everything I just mentioned. The sleeping pad will never get away from me in the middle of the night. The pillow will never get away from me in the middle of the night. And plenty of ventilation to kind of get all this all the way down and use this more as a blanket. See, what happened to me when I was actually camping last time was that north face was fine, but I was getting a little bit hot. And like I said, these are primarily spring, summer, early fall bags because they're only 40 degrees. But this has just been more comfortable. Granted, I've only got one night on it, but I don't know. I wanted to show everybody this because I'm super excited about it. Did mention before, they don't make the Buffalo Park anymore. However, they have a whole line of bags. Some of them are even down. Let's get into kind of specs on this stuff. This bag is not light by any means. It's not a ultralight backpacking kind of bag. It is 2 pounds and 12 ounces. The pad, when you add that on top of it, the whole system works out to be close to 4 pounds. And then if you throw the pillow in there, I think it's exactly like 4 pounds 1 ounces or something like that. Compared to the North Face, which is with everything added onto it, including the pillow, it's closer to 5 pounds. So if I were to take both of these, if I had to take both of these or choose between both of these when it came to a backpacking trip, I would be saving a pound with the big Agnes, but that's primarily because I don't have to bring this sheet. Yeah, so anyway, that's kind of my new sleep system, and I just would want to show it because I had never seen a sleep system that had the actual kind of air pad sleeve. And I also think that bag is unique because it's not insulated on the bottom, and I think that's why they're able to get so much room on the top part, and it acts more like a quilt. So you're not basically gaining more pack weight when you do this stuff. So I can't wait to get this out into the wilderness. I mentioned before, I am going on a 3-day backpacking trip at the end of September. I'm stoked about that. I'm not really big on buying new gear for stuff like that, but that experience the last time I went camping in the Dolomite 40, it was not pleasant at all. And it's just because of my movement. Now look, both these whole systems, even though there's more to the climate kind of Dolomite system, it can be purchased for around $200 to $250 depending on time of year and what you find for a sale. So take a look at both these sleep systems. Like I said, I didn't go in depth with the North Face because I've already done a video on it. The link is somewhere in the description. It's up here. You'll find it. And I'll make sure that it's evident to see. Big Agnes, Buffalo Park 40. Super stoked to have it. Take a look at their sleep systems. Definitely worth the time. It is close to the 4th of July. Everybody's running sales right now. You could probably get it for a really good steal. Hey, thanks for watching these things. Hope everyone's having a great day. Bye.